Watching Weekend Prime and welcome back. The sixth session of the United Nations Environment Assembly, UNEA 6, that kicked off Monday this week, has concluded with 15 adopted resolutions, 2 decisions and a ministerial declaration. The resolutions reached at the Assembly that brought together ministers of environment and other leaders from more than 180 nations. So decisions arrived at and also agreements arrived at that meeting that took place here in Nairobi. Now, emphasis on how multilateralism can help tackle the triple planetary crisis was arrived at. Gloria Milimo with more.
It is an environmental crisis that brought together ministers of environment and other leaders from more than 180 nations to discuss how the world can curtail progression of the world's most pressing concern that transcends borders.
In this document,
after over 10 days of negotiations, the Assembly concluded with the adoption of 15 resolutions and 2 decisions that will play a critical role in ending the triple planetary crisis of climate change, biodiversity loss and pollution.
The important thing is not the number of resolutions or the length of the ministerial declaration. It's very much the importance and the quality of those resolutions.
The resolutions that have been passed are all in very important areas, and you heard as Madam President outgoing was gaveling each of these, she was saying this is a very important one and this is a very important one because they are highly hazardous pesticides. Let's just stop at that one. Is clearly a concern and is clearly something that we need to get a handle on.
Some of the resolutions agreed on include the resolution on water that calls for an integrated approach for water resources management in agriculture and industry. The resolution on air pollution, which focuses on enhancing national air quality monitoring. Resolution on land degradation that calls member states to promote land conservation and sustainable land management, and resolution on ocean and seas governance that calls for necessity to strengthen the ocean science policy interface, among others.
There are things that we would have liked to see included, and we were not included, but in a spirit of inclusion and collective intelligence, I still insist, and the principles of equality, I still insist that this is the spirit that we wanted for UNEA 6.
Experts also called on a sustainable production of livestock in a bid to reduce emissions from livestock sectors projected to increase by 2050 if no action is taken.
Livestock productions contribute around 12% of greenhouse gas emissions in this planet. And today, the livestock productions produce around 6 gigatons of carbon dioxide. And we are expecting that by 2050, if we do nothing, the carbon dioxide or greenhouse gas will increase from 6 gigatons to 9 gigatons.
No objection. It is so decided.
The agreements from the world's top decision-making body on environment are said to be founded on the idea that the world's most pressing environmental challenge transcends borders. As the UNEA 6 Assembly concludes today, it is clear that tackling the world's most pressing environmental challenge is one that requires nations to work together in a bid to forge a sustainable future. Gloria Milimo, KTN News, Nairobi.
From the courts now, and Patiala distillers have gotten a major